Okay, so I don't know why I'm doing this again. I didn't know why I was doing the first one, but bear with me. I have here an array of ingredients because I'm not working out of a box this time. I'm doing a recipe that I hastily transcribed down here. I'm gonna make something. The recipe called it cauliflower mac and cheese. I don't know how accurate that's gonna be. I've never made mac and cheese from scratch, but I'm gonna do a thing here. In my usual style, I have just sort of changed shit on my own where I thought it would be inconvenient or stuff that I don't actually have. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this. Again, not a good idea, but you know. Step one. I'm not gonna do this every time, but first things first, I gotta boil some water in this here thing here. Bear with me while I get some water going. I'm going to try and work on my camera etiquette this time. Oh, I need 2 hands for this. There we go. It does say that it needs to be salted, so let's just... It says heavily salted, so I'll just do this for a while. That'll probably do. Then I run into the problem that I didn't really... Actually, no, there is something that we can be doing this time. We can start carving up this thing. There's a cauliflower in here somewhere. And it's my job to bring it out. I'm definitely not going to flip the phone the wrong way this time. That's me telling myself that so that I don't do it. Because that was a problem last time. Turns out you can just flip that thing when you edit it though. I'm perfectly happy including the stem in this, but not all these leaves. They're not why I'm here. I don't know the proper way to do this. I don't know the proper way to do most of this. You can't get at me for doing this improperly. This isn't a cooking show. This is just me. I'd be doing this anyway. I just like doing dumb things, like streaming it for no reason. I don't want any of this. Get the hell out. The recipe says break it into florets, which, you know, I'll do. But I'll throw the stem in there anyway. Okay, that'll probably do. I'll deal with you later. I suppose I could just break it down, couldn't I? The water is not boiling yet. What if I get a bowl to put this in? You know, something sensible? That'll do. I don't think I can put this anywhere in frame. If this toaster wasn't here... See? I solved the problem. That's what this is all about, problem solving. I'm going to have it broken down a little more than that. Around that size is what I want, I think. We're going to tear this whole thing apart. No, I don't have good knife etiquette, especially not with round things. I probably did okay with the chicken, but not this time. I don't know that bowl will be big enough to hold all of this. Okay, maybe I won't worry too much about the size. If I wind up with too much time on my hands, then I'll worry about breaking it down further. I'm gonna need a bigger bowl. Your cauliflowers were so big. I don't know if that bird's getting picked up, but those comments I asked for last time, they're certainly giving them now. Really shouldn't drop that, should I? It was bound to happen. Apologies. Also, my recording thing has gone to a time. I don't know how that happened. This bowl's definitely not big enough, but it'll do. That water's getting to where we want it. I'll narrate, because I can't exactly move the phone while I'm doing this. Whatever, it's just a receptacle as long as it holds it for long enough. As long as it holds it at all. I don't think I'm going to bother breaking this down further. And that's probably boiling enough. I can start throwing this in, which is not easy to do with one hand, I gotta say. I just need a throwing in device. Well, I'll use my hands, I guess. I will have to get a spoon for when I'm done with it, but I don't think I've ever divvied up a whole cauliflower once. It's really quite a lot, isn't it? Agitate it a little. Apparently that doesn't have to cook for long, 3 minutes. Unfortunately, I don't have my time's on my phone. I don't have a way to Didn't really plan this out, did I? I think this might have a timer on it somewhere. Somewhere in this thing. How do I set it though? Okay, thank you. Well, while that's happening, I'm going to clean this shit up a bit. I probably won't need this bowl again, but I'll get it tidied up anyway. And by get it tidied up, I mean I'll do it later. Anyway, the next thing we'll need is this here garlic. So, might as well start getting that ready while I wait. There is about a minute and a half left on the cooking. A minute 30, no, well, not a minute 30. 3 minutes seems pretty short, honestly. But I'll trust the recipe. It said 3 cloves, but whoever goes by the number of cloves on the recipe, right? You want as much garlic and everything as possible. Everyone knows this. Turns out Windows does not set off an actual audible alarm at all for the timer. So I'm gonna scoop this stuff out and set it aside. I did get some things ready this time, not like last time. What I didn't get ready was a scoopy device. Let's see how this goes one-handed. If I had a better scoopy spoon, I'd definitely use it, but this is about what I've got. Remember when I said I was going to work on my camera etiquette? Yeah, I've got to do that. If I could like strap this to my head or something, that would work very nicely, but that is not what we have. One of the reasons I picked this recipe is because it said it was low carb. As you can tell, because there's gobs of cauliflower. As far as I can tell, that's half of what low carb recipes are. Which I don't mind, because I like cauliflower. It's a good vegetable, as vegetables go. It's quite solid, especially for you. After you've cooked it, you throw some butter on there. But then that's true of most vegetables, really. It's probably uncouth, but hell, that's how we always had it growing up. Vegetables always had butter on them. Always. Hardly worth having them otherwise. Of course, that was probably half the ploy to get kids to eat vegetables, but hell, it worked. And I'll stand by it. That's almost all of it. Once I've gotten everything out of here, I will get rid of the water and clean it up and use the same pot because, I don't know, that seems like a good idea. Hope that doesn't steam up the camera too much. Right. What's the next step? Melt butter. I did not put butter on this recipe. That's a problem. But I'm pretty sure it's just enough to get the garlic going anyway. You know what, there's probably enough left in this one, I can just throw it in there. Yeah, that'll do. So, okay, this isn't gonna work. Oh, I ain't above it. And once this gets going, I'm gonna need the garlic, so I'm gonna focus on getting this done. God, I really fucked some of these up, didn't I? And once I've got this garlic chopped up, we'll throw that in there. It says minced. I'll chop it as finely as I can be bothered, but I've never been 100% clear on the proper cutting technique, especially when it's doing stuff finely like this. So don't mind me if I just do whatever. Like, that'll probably do, right? I'll clean this up and then pour this straight in, shall we? Okay, let's see if I can. This isn't going to work very well. Okay, bear with me, I've got to use both hands. There. Once this starts getting Dr. Good smells, creams, namely cream cheese and heavy cream, or thickened cream if you're not in a crazy place. This isn't really cream cheese, but it's close enough. It's also all I've got, so I'm going to use that. God, garlic's good. Smells good, tastes good. My partner threw some roasted garlic in with what we made for dinner last night, and it was delicious. I've got to find out how she does that, because it's amazing. I haven't got much else to look at it. I also should have prepped the measuring cup that we have. somewhere there is a measuring cup, which I would very much like because I have to measure some things. I have no idea where it is. Bear with me, garlic. I guess I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was. Yeah, I'm just looking through random drawers now. It's not in there. Well, you know what that means. I'm going to have to wing it. Now, the recipe asks for 115 grams. And this is 245. So if I just do about half of it, that should be right. Trust me, I'm throwing in the cream cheese. I apologise, I only have so many hands and I don't... I guess I do. Maybe I could try this. This might be a poor view, but bear with me. I also totally can't see what's on the camera, so... 120 mils of this thing. This is 600. How much is that? A fifth? That'd be a fifth. Alright, let's say around there. Precision, that's what I'm going for. Absolute precision. That garlic got a little overdone while I was doing that, but it'll be fine. What could go wrong? I mean, it could taste like ass, but definitely doesn't look quite as smooth as it did in the video. That's what overdone garlic gets you, I guess. I might turn this down a bit further. All the way, in fact. Well, not off. Off would be all the way. Just down. I mean, that's pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. So next, I'm going to throw in some of these three things. I realise this isn't helpful. These three things. Salt, pepper, pepper too. Actually, you know the deal. Let's start with yonder. It says a teaspoon, so that's probably a teaspoon. How is this already fucking like that? Pepper. That's probably more pepper than paprika, which isn't supposed to be the case, but it'll do. Salt. I should be arrested for food crimes. Thinking the temperature might still be too warm, so I'm going to move it over. So we've got a nice bit of a sauce there. Next up, I'm going to throw in some cheese. Not the cheese as the recipe actually calls for, because, you know, this is me that's doing it. It says 110 grams of each. This bag is mostly used up. And is that about a seventh? That's about a seventh. Oh, this isn't made for this. But I did it. So when it comes to you, well, it's not made for this either. I'm gonna have to. Oh, I did it with one hand. How about that? No, that's probably enough. Who lets me cook? And why? But anyway, we're going to stir this until it's all smooth. Eventually. Which may be a little difficult with the mozzarella. That wasn't in the recipe. But it'll turn out fine as long as it melts down and mixes. Let's face it, this is already a lot more liquid than that cheese was a few seconds ago. As long as it gets over the stuff in the end, it'll be fine. I'm mostly saying this to reassure myself more than anyone else. That's some mozzarella action there. That might be about as liquid as it's going to get. And honestly, it'll do. So the last thing I'm going to do is throw this in here. And then get it all mixed in. And then I'm pretty much done. The recipe did ask for like hot sauce to top it off, but I don't have any of that, so... Go on. It's not going to be easy to use a whisk like this. I probably shouldn't keep using the whisk. What if I use a spoon? This somewhat resembles the recipe I saw. The question is, does it taste as nice? God, I've got to stop. It needs to stop sliding. Also, really a two-handed job. Like most of these things, I really shouldn't be using one hand for any of this. Alright, I think this is pretty well mixed around. That is something like the cauliflower mac and cheese that I saw in the recipe. That's what I'm calling it. That's the name of this dish. Not quite cauliflower mac and cheese. I'm going to throw some in a bowl so that I may consume it. Let's face it, that's what this is about. It's not about the stream. Hell no, I was going to make this anyway. Tell you what, I will do the flourish on top that it asked for. So I do like the hot sauce, but I do have... I'll put this on there just to have some modicum of... That's why I started streaming, and shut up! Come on! What's your opinion on cauliflower? Nothing? What about garlic? Well, shut up then. I'm gonna go eat this, and I will report back to Twitter because, I don't know. Why not? Bye y'all.